Just getting ready to ask. Make sure I do right. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll have roll call, please, Margie, and or whoever does it, Dean.
First of all, we'd like to welcome Caden Butler. Is a newly appointed member, was appointed on the 25th of January, giving us 5 members on the board, and he was not able to attend your January 20, the meeting in the 28th of January on short notice, and so he's joining us, and so I'll go through the roll call. Board member Helzer.
She's on mute, but
Can she be unmuted, Dustin?
I think.
All right, we'll try board member Kitchen.
Here.
Board member Noonan.
Here.
Board member Butler.
Here.
Board member Martins.
Here.
Try board member Helzer.
Here.
Okay. We have a quorum of 5 members present, and we'll ask Margie to confirm that we have met our Kansas Open Meeting Act obligation.
Yeah, Dean, you didn't mention me.
Mr. Baffa, you are on the Heritage Commission, and you might be off a day, or you're a visitor joining us, but this is the Downtown Design Review Board.
Yeah. Oh. And yesterday was the.
Yesterday is Heritage Commission.
Yeah.
We had Maggie here as an applicant for that case, and now she's rejoining us today. But you are welcome to be a.
No, I had a brain fart. I thought I was joining the Heritage Commission.
So you are joining the Design Review Board.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll sign off.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think we're back to Margie then.
Okay, Margie.
Yes, so I can confirm that the packet was posted and the required notice of today's meeting was provided.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the January 28th, 2021 meeting. Everybody's had a chance to review those. If there's any additions or changes, please speak up. Corrections. If not, I'll accept a motion to approve.
I so move.
Okay, Katie moved to approve. Second.
I'll second it.
Okay, and Jennifer seconded. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed? Okay, then. Minutes approved.
Motion carries 5-0.
Yes. Down on to new business, public hearing application CC 21-2.
Yes, this application has been filed by Maggie Gillum of JGR Architects on behalf of Drums and Dice LLC, and they're requesting approval of a certificate of compatibility to allow exterior facade modifications to be made to a building that's located on the west side of South 5th Street. And the property is addressed as 132, 136 South 5th Street. And I think that Mr. Berger would refer to this property as a traditional or vernacular commercial building. It dates back to 1925. Was built by the Austenberg brothers. It's got a buff brick exterior with stone trim. And there's most notable thing is the storefront facade has 3 bays that are supported by brick piers. And so this board has addressed previously the 2 southernmost bays. The previous occupant of this space was Joka Furniture, and that business closed in 2014. The property was purchased by Drums and Dice LLC in 2016. And in July of 2016, you looked at a plan for the renovation of the 1-story building, which is at the south end. And that exterior and interior construction was completed in 2017. And that was to create a percussion education studio that contains a lobby, practice rooms, restroom, offices, and storage. And then in 2018, a application came before this board for the renovation of the north building. And that plan was to create a space for the Salina Symphony for practice space. And there was restrooms, instrument storage area, mechanical room were all proposed as part of that. And there are also modifications to the two southernmost bays on the storefront. And in that case, windows were replaced, a glass door and side lights were added to the south of the storefront windows. Some of the stucco panels were painted, but the focus was on those two southern bays of the three. The property owner is now requesting approval of a certificate of compatibility for several exterior modifications. The intent is to match what was done in 2018. And if you'll notice, the north bay is more recessed than the other bays, and the plan would be to install a new storefront and door in the north bay that would match the middle and south bays, and installing a new black canopy above that storefront that would match the south and north bays. The owner is also proposing to install new second floor windows that would match existing windows in color and style. The windows replacements is something that we could approve administratively as a staff, but we just included that as part of the application for your information. The focus here is on the north storefront and the changes there. And because we are in the downtown business improvement district, the review and approval of facade changes is required before any work can commence. So we've provided you a summary of the design guidelines that apply in this case. And on page 5 of your report, we've highlighted some findings that we think support approval of the proposed modifications. And the replacement will maintain a primary facade that aligns with traditional buildings. It will be consistent with the building's already traditional features. It will maintain the proportions of the storefront bays, and it will continue to make this a street level entrance that will be pedestrian friendly. And so your options this afternoon would be to approve the certificate of compatibility, finding that the guidelines have been met. You could approve it with any conditions that you would like to add or think are appropriate. You could postpone consideration at today's meeting if you think additional information is needed concerning this proposal, or you could deny the application upon making findings of fact of how this does not meet the downtown design guidelines. Our recommendation would be option 2, just with the standard condition that if there are any proposed changes to the facade design, that be submitted to and approved by the board. Should be provided to staff to determine whether any additional review by the board is needed. So essentially, we're saying that what you see is what will be done in the field, and if there's any changes that it would come back to staff, we would review it and determine if any additional review is needed by this board. But we think that the goal appears to be to make that north bay and entrance consistent with the rest of the building exterior. And so that's our review and analysis of that, but we'd certainly want to hear from the designer, Ms. Gillum, before to see if we have misrepresented anything. But staff would be open to any questions before we hear from the applicant.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or discussion from anyone on the board? on that? No? Maggie, would you like to add anything or?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Maggie Gillum, the architect working with both Gus and Jamie on this project. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward in terms of what they're trying to accomplish there on the main level. You know, they redid the storefront on the two other bays a couple of years ago and didn't do the one on the north side because it had the door in there. Well, if you ever drive by there, you can see that it collects trash and leaves and things like that. So I think, and Gus can chime in here, but I think that's what they're trying to prevent from continuing to happen, as well as, you know, putting that storefront on there and the canopy to match the rest of the building, of course, would make it look nicer. So Gus or Jamie, do you guys have anything to add?
Yeah, this is Jamie. I'll chime in real quick. When you look at Maggie's rendering of this, I think Gus and I would both agree that it was one of those shoulda, woulda, coulda. If we should have asked for this request when we did this originally some years ago, and we didn't, and now we're kind of kicking ourselves and coming back and saying we'd like to finish this up and make it all blend in and look the same. So that's the reason we're all here today, is to basically finish off what we started a few years ago.
We had a floor plan that we included in the packet, and that was a floor plan from the 2018 project. Has anything on the interior changed from what we represented in the floor plan in the packet?
No, the floor plan that we completed with the original project is exactly how it ended up. The space is working very well for the symphony. We just like to finish this out.
And so that north door, it's like a secondary entrance into the rehearsal area, but it also leads to the upstairs.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, that door isn't really used as an entrance or exit from the rehearsal hall. It's really, I mean, it is optional, but it's only used to access the second floor functionally.
Is there anything up on the second floor?
It's storage.
Storage, okay. All right.
There's no activity going on up there.
Commission members, any comments, questions? If no further discussion, then I'll accept a motion.
I would move for option 2, contingent if there are any major changes that would be brought back in front of the board.
Okay, we have a motion.
second
from
it.
Haley. Seconded, was that Haley?
Yep.
Yep, okay, thank you, Haley. Second from Haley. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I think
You need to do a roll call, don't you? I'm sorry, Dean.
yeah, for the benefit of Margie, I'm going to do a roll call. So, Board Member Butler.
Aye.
Board Member Helzer.
Aye.
Board Member Noonan.
Aye.
Board Member Kitchen.
Aye.
Board Member Martins.
Aye.
Okay, so that motion to approve carries unanimously, and what we'll do is we'll get a summary of today's action in written form and get that sent out to Mr. Applequist and also to you, Maggie, so you know that you have the green light to move forward.
Okay,
Thank you all for this. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, then. We'll move on down to administrative items. Are there any administrative items, Dean?
We do not have any administrative items on your agenda for today or preliminary discussion items.
All right, then. I don't believe we have any unfinished business or other business, but I'll have a little bit of unfinished business. Caden, welcome. I meant to say that early on, so glad to have you join us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry I wasn't here for the last meeting. I couldn't move things around. I had a couple sick kids, so
That's all right.
but I'm glad to join you.
Glad to have you join us. Yes, and so I don't see anybody here from the public for a public forum. And so unless there's any other,
The only other business I would have is to let you know that we have an application filed, which should line up for Thursday, March 11th, which would be your regular second Thursday of the month meeting. And it's for buildings on the west side of the 200 block of South Santa Fe. I'm trying to get the location pinned down. I believe it's north of the old Chicago restaurant, but it's in that block. I don't have the specifics yet, but you should plan on having a meeting on Thursday, March 11th.
okay, thank you. All right, well, if there's no other items to be covered, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Make a
move that
motion
we
we
adjourn. I'll second it.
Haley and Jennifer both. So, we'll accept Jennifer's, and then Haley, would you like to second it?
Absolutely. I'll second it.
All right, and Haley seconded it. We need a roll call vote for that, Dean?
You accept just a regular vote, Margie, will that work for just an adjournment?
Yes, that'll work just fine.
Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right then. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
If you have any questions about anything, Caden, feel free to reach out to us. But we've got your contact information. We'll keep sending you packets. And if there's anything that you want to ask questions about, just let us know.
Okay, good deal. I appreciate it.
All right. See you, everybody.